Okay, let's dive right in. I bet when you were a kid, you were digging around outside somewhere, and you found it. A little rock glittering with this perfect, shiny, golden color. And for that one split second, you thought, I'm rich, I've struck gold. We've all been there, right?
And yep, almost every single time, that amazing moment of pure excitement is followed by some adult coming along, crushing your dreams, and saying, oh, that's just worthless fool's gold. It's like a universal childhood experience, that little roller coaster of discovery followed by disappointment.
But here's the thing, what if there's more to the story? What if that common mineral we all wrote off as kids is actually hiding some incredible secrets? Which, brings us to the big question for today. Is it really worthless? Let's find out.
So, to start, we've got to give this rock its proper name. It's time to pull back the curtain and unveil the true identity of fool's gold.
That shiny rock you found is actually a mineral called pyrite, or, if you want to get a little more specific, iron disulfide. Its chemical formula is super simple, just Fe(S)2. All that means is it's made of one iron atom bonded to two sulfur atoms. Pretty straightforward.
But that simple formula isn't the whole story. Not even close. What makes pyrite so incredibly cool is the absolutely stunning variety of ways it can crystallize. I mean, the shapes it can form are just wild. This is where its real beauty shines through.
See, the final shape a pyrite crystal takes all comes down to the environment where it formed. Things like the purity of the elements, how much time it had to grow, and the exact pressure and temperature, they all play a huge part. This is how you end up with these incredible variations, like the famous, almost impossibly perfect cubes that are found in Spain. They look like they were carved by hand. Okay, so since it's famous for being a look-alike, let's put gold and its imposter head-to-head. There are actually some really simple tests you can do to tell them apart, no problem.
Once you put them side by side, the differences are huge. Gold is usually found in these shapeless, kind of lumpy, amorphous chunks, but pyrite, like we just saw, forms these sharp, really ordered crystals. Gold is also super soft and malleable. If you hit a piece of gold with a hammer, it just flattens out. You try that with pyrite, it'll shatter into a million little pieces because it's hard and brittle. And just look at that density difference. Gold is almost 4 times heavier than pyrite.
And that massive difference in density, it actually gives us a really easy test you can do in the field. If you've got a pan with little bits of material, just swish it around gently with some water. The much, much heavier gold will stay right at the bottom, while the lighter pyrite gets washed around and carried away. Easy.
All right, so we've covered the physical differences. But now for the really fun part. Let's see what happens when we put pyrite under some pressure. Well, under heat, more accurately. It's time to get into the chemistry.
So here's the key thing you need to know. Pyrite, in its normal Fe(S)2 form, doesn't really react with acid. But if you heat it up with something like a blowtorch, its chemical structure actually changes. The surface turns black because it loses a sulfur atom, becoming just Fes. And now, if you add hydrochloric acid, you get a very obvious chemical reaction. And you know that exciting crackle and pop you hear when heating a rock like this? Well, as the pyrite heats up, the sulfur that breaks off turns into a gas. If that happens deep inside the crystal, that gas has nowhere to go. The pressure builds and builds and builds until, pop, the crystal just can't take it anymore and shatters. And what's really cool is if you break open one of these heated rocks, you get this amazing cross-section. The heat didn't get all the way through. On the outside, you've got this red and black oxidized layer. Right under that is a black layer of the transformed Fes. But dead center, it's still golden, the original unreacted Fes2. So, what's that gas being produced in the reaction with the acid? It's called hydrogen sulfide, or H2S. You probably know its smell. It's that super potent rotten egg aroma. It's also incredibly toxic, about on the same level as cyanide gas. So yeah, taking a big whiff is definitely not the recommended test. A much, much smarter way to prove the gas is there is to use a test strip coated in lead acetate. When this little strip gets exposed to hydrogen sulfide gas, it has a chemical reaction and turns black. And there you have it, clear visual proof that our chemical transformation of pyrite was a success. Okay, so we've established it's not gold, and we've had some fun with its chemistry. So let's circle all the way back to our original question. If it's not valuable like gold, does that make it worthless? Not even a little bit. It's just a different kind of treasure. You might actually be surprised to learn that pyrite has some really important modern uses. It's a semiconductor, which is the foundation of our entire electronics industry. In industry, it's a major source for producing sulfur, which is then used to make stuff like sulfuric acid. And maybe the most surprising one, it's a key ingredient in non-rechargeable Energizer lithium batteries.
You know, this quote from our source material really just nails it. Pyrite might not be as valuable as actual gold, but I think it has enough of its own unique properties and uses that it more than makes up for it.
And honestly, the best part is that its so-called worthlessness is actually its greatest strength. Because it's not expensive, its beauty and all its scientific cool factor are accessible to literally everyone. You can own a stunning, perfectly formed pyrite cube for a tiny fraction of what one boring little nugget of gold would cost you.
So the next time you see that little golden glimmer in the dirt, don't just dismiss it as fool's gold. Take a second to appreciate it for the amazing mineral that it is. Which kind of leaves you with one last thought. What other everyday, seemingly worthless things all around us are just waiting to show us the amazing science they're hiding inside?